So I'm on my way to Graham Hills in Westchester, driving on Long Island. Not too much traffic yet, but we had quite a bit of rain yesterday, so hopefully the trails are not too slick. But I wanted to talk to you guys about trusting yourself on the mountain bike, because I feel like we've all had instances of crashing where it shakes up your confidence and you really don't trust yourself on the bike to some degree. But slowly but surely, we find ways to build that trust back again. Whether it's starting back at the beginning, doing smaller drops or jumps that you're comfortable with before you get back to kind of pushing your limits again. And, thinking back to last year, we went to Graham Hills and I was feeling pretty confident early in the season like we are right now. And we did a pretty difficult trail, and I ended up crashing on a feature that I had already done for the day, but I kind of dead sailored and ended up landing and then falling over into a bit of rocks, and I scraped up my elbow, bruised it pretty good, and that shook me up for a little bit going into the summer. And I decided to take it slower. Wasn't really too keen on going to bike parks. I don't think I went to a bike park at all last year, because I just always associate that with like, oh, if I need to go, or if I am gonna go, I need to push myself and make it worthwhile. So anyway, I was just reflecting on how we find ways to build back our trust in ourselves on the mountain bike so that we can enjoy it again. And in my early career so far, I've definitely had a hard time trusting myself at work. I work in construction project management, and there can be a lot of tough personalities, not a lot of positive reinforcement, a lot of joking around, which, of course, I'd rather have a lighthearted work environment than something that is super strict. But people don't really check in on each other and reaffirm that you're doing a good job or give good criticism. It can often be quite crass criticism. And for me, I've never really been in an environment where I'm equating my trust in myself with something that has no direct I don't want to say scoring or grading, but really coming from school and college and high school, you're constantly reaffirmed or reminded whether you're succeeding or not succeeding in your schoolwork. If you're in a sport, you're either doing well and your teammates and your coaches are celebratory about that or not. And that kind of reflection of how you are doing in a more concrete fashion has always helped me trust myself and trust what I'm doing. But I'm trying to learn that I need to trust myself and my abilities at work internally, and not kind of look for validation from my coworkers or try and pinpoint, am I doing better than this person who is my peer or my colleague, and am I getting ahead or am I falling behind? Am I trying hard enough? Am I showing good effort but also willingness to learn? And all these things, they kind of dampen your confidence in what you're doing. And in my job, there can be a lot of interacting with many different departments and groups, and you don't know who is easy to work with and who is not, and who you have to tread lightly with. And sometimes you just kind of get thrown to the wolves a little bit and find out for yourself. But it's up to you to try and make that relationship better and trust that you can make your work life more fruitful, I guess, and keep building on those blocks. And I feel like I like to think about biking that way as well. If you crash, you kind of do a bit of a reset and start building those blocks back up again. Those little increments of confidence, of reassuring yourself and moving forward, getting back to things that are a little bit more intimidating. And I feel like I wish it was as, I'm not going to say it's easy, because obviously being scared in mountain biking is still challenging, but I feel like it dampens my personal self-esteem more when I'm unsure of myself at work. And you know, obviously we spend a lot of time at work. The people that you're surrounded with at work are people you see more than, you know, your dearest friends, maybe even more than your family. I hope not. But yeah, so it was just something that I've been learning to grapple with. And when I've been going to therapy, this is something that my therapist and I talk about, is you know, learning to trust myself as a young professional adult who is trying to navigate their early career and, you know, set myself up for success. And I just was thinking about the comparison of this to how do I deal with setbacks on the mountain bike. And I feel like that's something that we all can agree or relate on if you're watching this channel. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Maybe for some of you who are later on in your career, I feel like as a young man, you feel like I should be trying super hard or hustling or whatever. There's so much hustle culture in social media, and you're constantly being reminded that people are doing more, making more, seemingly more successful or ambitious than you. But you know, I feel like a lot of people in my work, once they talk about having kids and getting married and having a house, they're able to step away from kind of like that attachment to work as like all that their life is about. But in my life right now, I don't have many other responsibilities besides to myself and to my relationship with my girlfriend and, you know, my parents and my siblings, and to my sibling. So you know, I guess that's just something that comes with time. But this is kind of a bit of a ramble, and I just saw a cool Aston Martin SUV. I hope that the sound is okay. I've never tried filming in the car like this, so hopefully this isn't getting scrapped. But we're gonna hopefully get a good ride in. The trees are starting to bloom. I'm sure it's gonna be pretty greasy out there from all the rain. We had like over an inch of rain, and we just gotta learn to trust ourselves, trust our intuition, and hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know what you think about some of these thoughts, and remember, stay venturing, my friends.